We can get started. We have quite a good number of people joining in today. First of all, welcome and thank you for taking time and joining today's webinar. Yes, we are very excited about unveiling the most awaited features, which is the reporting package, creating beautiful reporting package from Xenett and the Flux analysis. Before we actually start the webinar, we'll just do a just kind of quickly talk about the intro. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Hardik. By profession, I'm an accountant. I like technology. That's how we ended up founding Xenett. It's been 4 years. We kind of been working on creating Xenett, and with all of your support, this is where we are today. So that's a quick introduction. And then just a quick housekeeping item. We are recording this webinar and we will be able to share with you guys who are on this webinar as well as all those who couldn't make it. And for any questions, in case if you have, please leave it into the chat. I do have my colleagues on the call who will be able to answer all of your questions as well. You can't hear anything. Ritesh, you guys hear me or? So Daniel, if you can please check on your end. All right. So that's that. Now, before I actually unveil the features, let me just set the context as to like how these features are relevant and how these features will be useful to you in your day-to-day workflow. So if you look at the cycle or the journey as a whole, I mean, there's a bookkeeping that is happening in your accounting software. Then we also, one of the things that we do where Xenett can help you is identify and fixing the errors. And then we have a closed module where, okay, so identifying and fix errors is where Xenett has already been helping you. And obviously the closed process where you can design your closed process and like you can have your task sign off and all of those. Once you have set it up, you should be able to close the books using Xenett. The other thing that you can also do using Xenett is the collaboration with your team members as well as your client as well, right? Now, the fifth and sixth, which is analyze the financial statements, which is profit and loss balance sheet, and creating and sharing the reports. So in the whole journey, as like Xenett has been helping you with identifying, fixing errors with the close process, with the collaboration, but these two pieces were actually not there, like analyzing the financial statements and creating and sharing the reports with your client. And this is what we are now coming up with, which is where Xenett will help you analyze the financials, and we are calling it Flux Analysis. At the same time, once you have analyzed the financials, the last and final step would be to create and share the reporting package with your client. So these are the two major features. We thought that we would just end your year with so much of excitement, and that's why we kind of rolling it out. All right, so that's like a little context as to what these features are and how this feature is gonna help you. All right, so we're gonna start with flux analysis first. So again, just gonna use this slide to set the floor, and then we'll take you guys to our platform to show you how this feature is gonna work in live. All right, so flux analysis. So I mean, all of us, whenever we review profit and loss and balance sheet, there are some expectation with some of the accounts. Some accounts need to be compared with, like, you expect consistency across the months. Some accounts you would compare it with the average. Some accounts you might compare it with percentage of something. So there are different accounts have got different expectations. This is where, and these are some of the use cases that I have explained just to kind of correlate. So for example, merchant fees should not be more than X% of my total revenue. Or for that reason, my rent expense should be consistent across the months. Another example could be my like security deposit generally should be the same as previous month, right? Advertising should be in the range of 3 or 5% compared to average of last 3 months. Highlight if my cash balance is negative. So the point is that you may have different expectations with different accounts. And this is where this switch is going to help you, where you can create the expectation at the account level, and then Xenett can quickly help you find whether your expectations are matching or not. So let me take you to Xenett, and then let me show you how that's going to work. All right. So right now, as you are right now, I'm in a client and I'm in a particular close, which is March. And then when I go to reports, you're gonna find this feature at the balance sheet and profit and loss level. Okay, so if I take you to profit and loss, this is where you're gonna find a new column called Flux. All right. Now, whenever you put your uh, like hover your mouse on any of the account, you're gonna find this icon, and this is where you can set up your expectation, right? There are a couple of accounts where I have already set the expectations, and this is where you find this icon here, right? So let me show you a quick example where you could say that, let's just say my travel expense, right? And this is there's a prompt, and it's like a just like a normal language that you can tell Xenett, and it's gonna find it for you. So there's a like already a prompt that is right there for you, and you can just start typing in. So it says verify that travel expense for current month. Now in this case, the current month would be the month for which you are closing the books. Okay. Now you could say, hey, should not be more than $500, something like that, right? And then all you do, just click on save. So this is how you keep creating the different prompts, okay? You could say, hey, my repair expense should not be more than 5%, something like of my office expense, something like that. I'm just saying. So here you can even press the slash, and it's going to open up the whole accounts list as well as the total lines where you can compare one account with another as well. So here you could say, hey, my repair expense for current should not be more than 5% of my, let's just say, total income, right? So this is how you can actually start building your prompt. The only thing you have to do here is that if you are comparing one account with another, the only thing that you have to do is like just press slash. It's going to open the drop down, and this is where you're going to be selecting it, because if you type in a normal language, it would not understand. So that's why all you simply do is just press the slash, and and you select the account or total lines from there. All right. Now imagine you kind of have all of your expectations set up at all the different places. Then all you simply have to do, and it's a one-time thing, once you set them up, all you simply have to do, just simply come here and do a run flux analysis. Now, what we are doing behind the scene is that the AI engine in the backend, it has actually last 24 months of data. So as long as your parameters has that sort of date range in that, it's gonna give you the output accordingly, right? Now I'm actually gonna show you also, even though it said current month, it does not have to be current month always, right? You can also modify that, and you can kind of also just type in the year to date or last month or previous month. So those things that you can basically also kind of play around with. Now, right now, what we are trying to do is that we use the engine. Okay, so here we are, where now it is showing all the different kinds of flag. Okay, so for me, imagine like once I have those prompt set up at 10, 20 different accounts, on a click, I can quickly see what are the accounts that have red flags, what are the accounts that have green flags. Green flags means I'm all okay. I don't need to worry about it. I only need to then worry about the accounts where I got red flag. So let's just look at it. So insurance, right? My expectation was that like I was expecting this expense should always be 2050 every month, because based on the history, that's what I expected. However, it says, hey, this month it's not 2050, it's 5494. That's why you got a red flag. So this is a simple example of, in case if you are expecting consistency across different accounts, this is what you can do it. The another example where I said that, hey, verify that advertising and marketing for current month should not be more than 3% of my total income, right? So again, it is telling you that, hey, it's not verified because the current month expense is 1853, but if you take the 3% of your total income, it comes to 465. So it can do all of those complex calculation for you, and it can just give you the final result, right? So that way, at the end of the month, all you can simply focus is on accounts with the red flag. Okay. So this is how it works behind the scene. And again, this is in a beta right now. We are continuously training our engine. I'm pretty sure as you guys start to put this to use, I'm pretty sure you guys will get us the feedback, and we're going to be making enhancements accordingly. Okay. But right now, it can only read the account balances. It does not read the transactions in the accounts. But that is the next phase that we will be working on, where if you, let's just say, ask anything inside the account, like at the transaction level, it will also be able to even look at that sort of data and also do some sort of analysis as well. Okay. So that's like a flux analysis. Now let me just share the related features with the flux analysis. Now, let's just say when you get the flag, and for whatever reason, because right now it's an initial phase, and if you think that the answer that was given to you is not right, you can just click here, report an error. What this would do, we would get notified so that we can then look into, and then we can train the AI accordingly. All right. So anytime if you find this kind of issues, then you can just report it. Rerun. Sometimes in case, let's just say if it did not give you the right result, you can press this rerun. So again, all it does is that it's gonna send the whole data again, and then it's gonna verify the date, your prompt again, and then it can give you the results accordingly. All right, so these are the two features. Now, once you set the prompt, if you want to make any changes, you can also do that. So just simply click here, click on edit, and you can make whatever changes that you like, and you can update it here. Okay. In case if you have a similar expectation and you want to then copy across different accounts, what you can also do is that just simply click here, copy prompt to other accounts, and then just select all those accounts where you would like to copy the same sort of prompt. Okay. So that way it just saves you a bit of time, where you then don't need to actually set up the prompt for every single account individually. This can quickly help you replicate your prompt to all the different accounts. All right. So yeah, that's another feature that you can also use it. All right, I do some questions in the chat, so I'm just gonna take them. So Beth, can you set parameters as extreme? Yes, you can also do that, Beth. It's pretty straightforward. So for example, okay, so I'm gonna read the question so that everyone can know. It says that, can you set up the parameter where whether the expense should be in a particular month, like March, June, September, or December? Yes, you can certainly do that. All you can simply do is that verify that bank charges should be, you can just remove this current month, and then you can just typing in, you can type in March, December, whatever the months that you would want to type in. Okay. So yes, you can do that. All right, so I do not see any questions, but before I actually move to the second feature, which is the reporting, I would love to know, I mean, any, like, do you guys, first of all, do you guys see any use cases? You can just type in chat, or do you guys see any sort of use cases, as in like any specific questions that you would like me to address? All right, so I see a question from Mike. I use a lot of parent-child accounts, and it does not seem to be able to use the parent accounts like COGS versus total revenue. I use a lot of. It does do that, Michael. I'm not really sure what exactly the use case is here, but you should be able to literally pick any sort of accounts here. So you can do that actually. You can even use the parent account. So yes, Mike, perfect. All right, Erin, let me just quickly. All right. So Erin's question is that we give notes to our clients on variance on monthly. We typically give notes on variance from budget though. Is this an option with Flux? That's coming, not right now, but we are in fact revamping the entire reporting module here, like the internal reporting module. So that's certainly coming very soon. So by the way, this feature is already available to you guys in your form. So in case if you guys want to start playing around, please do that. And as we are already working on it, would love to get your feedback, good, bad, whatever it is. Just send it to us, and then yes, we'll make sure we work on that. Perfect. So now let me take you to the next step. For that, let me just take you to the slide real quick, where which I was just showing it to you, where once, like, let's just say once you're done with your all of your closing tasks, and once you also reviewed your green and red flags, now is the time where you kind of, let's just say, ready to start sending the financial reports to your clients. Now, many of you may be using QuickBooks to print the financial statements and send it to your clients, or you might be using any sort of third-party apps as well. And that is why we are now introducing this feature where you can also create the reports inside Xenett, and then you can share it with your client either in form of PDF, or if you have invited your client on Xenett's client portal, your client can also access the reports on the portal as well. All right. So let me show you how that's going to work. So right next to the reporting module, you're going to find a new tab called Publish. Okay. So let me show you that. One second. And this is where you should be able to set up your financial statements. Just a second. All right. All right, so publish here, right? And this is where you should be able to set up your financial statements. Now, this is very, very customizable, right? Where you can actually design the reports the way you like. Okay. And I'm gonna actually show you guys how you guys can get started. First of all, there is a reporting templates that you can create. So when you click on settings, and then when you go to templates, there's a reporting templates that you can actually create here. Now, if you guys, let's just say, so different industry clients like real estate clients, or let's just say hotel clients or restaurant clients, so you can actually create different templates depending on your needs, because each client, I mean, may have a different requirements, right? So you can use the, like, you can create the template, and then here you can set up some sort of your standard reports, right? Like, for example, there's a cover page here, there's a balance sheet that you can add, profit and loss you can add. So let me show you how you can actually build your template. Now, let's just say I wanted to add cash flow statement here, right? So you can just type in cash flow statement, click here, and then once you do that, there's a blank page where either you can add a text box like that, where you can type in some sort of heading or some sort of notes, or you can add a divider to separate it out, or you can add any of the reports. So you can say, hey, I wanted to add cash flow here. So right, I mean, in this particular case, again, because we are the template level, it does not have any sort of data yet. It just gives you just like a fixed screen right now. And then there's some settings here like, hey, for the cash flow, do you want to see it for current period or for the year to date? Correct. Just like that, you can actually add any sort of report. Like you can say, hey, I wanted to add profit and loss, actual versus budget, right? So you can also do that. with each report, there's a setting icon where there will be some sort of customization where you could say, hey, I want this report to show up only for the current close or for the year to date. And then there's further option where you can also decide whether you want to have the parent account showing expanded or collapsed. So this option that you can also do it here. There's a report setting here at the bottom. Again, this is a top level report. Like, what should be the base of the reporting? Like, is it going to be the cash basis, the accrual basis? Do you want to show the decimals? Do you want to show the GL with the zero balance? So all of those settings that you can do it here. So at the concept of template is that you just set up your standard template here with whatever reports that you like. And then you can use this template and apply it to your client. At the client level also, like once you've applied the template, okay, there's an edit mode and then there's a preview mode, okay? Now, with the edit mode, so when you click on edit mode, this is where you guys can keep making changes, right? Actually, let me take a step back and let me show you once you've created the template, how you can actually import it here, right? All you have to do is that whenever you come here for the very first time, it's gonna show you that do you want to create it from the scratch or do you want to create it from the template? When you say create it from the template, it will then ask you from which template that you want to import it to. You just simply select the right template and your report will then be ready. Once your template will be imported, you can then make any client specific changes that you like. Okay. So here right now I'm in edit mode. So it has got two mode, edit mode and then the preview mode. Preview mode will give you an idea as to what the final reports will look like. So I can know that this is what my client's gonna see, right? So you can just simply scroll down and then you can see what kind of different reports and all of it. So basically you get a feel as to what your client's gonna see. With the edit mode, in case if you wanted to make any changes, then you can do that. So by default, all of the reports from the template will automatically show up. But let's just say for this particular client, you wanted to add some more reports. All you can simply do, click on add page, just type in the page name. It could be like, let's just say profit and loss by location, for example, right? And then you just simply click on create. Now it just creates a blank canvas. Here, there are a few things that you can do in case if you wanted to add some sort of text and just type in something about what this report is all about, like any standard text explaining what this report is all about or how client can read, you can do that. In case if you wanted to add some sort of divider, so let's just say you have a text and then you have a charts and then you have some reports inside the page. In case if you wanted to add divider to separate it out, you can also do that like that. And then let's just say if you wanted to add a report, there are a few options like from the profit and loss, or you got all the different kinds of options like current period, or do you want to see it by quarter or for year to date, by class, by location, by customer or project, or actual versus budget. So again, depending upon your client's need, you can then pick whatever report that you like and then you can edit it. Now, let's just say I wanted to actually add this report for profit and loss by location. So now the actual report will be added here. Because you are in edit mode, with each report, you're going to find this edit icon. When you click on that, it's going to have the panel. In case if you wanted to give a particular like customized report name, you can do that because some customers may not call it location. They might be calling site or let's just say department or whatever, right? You can actually change it here as well. Right now, it is showing you the total for the current period, which in this case, which is this particular period. But in case if you wanted to, let's just say, see the total for the year to date, you can also do that. In case if you have, let's just say, tens of locations and you only want to see this report for a specific location, let's just say for Chicago, you can also decide to view that as well. And the final option is that do you want to see the parent account expanded or not? For example, job materials here, right? It has got sub accounts. Right now it shows expanded, but if you turn it off and then click on save changes, it's gonna then apply those changes. And then, so right now we are seeing profit and loss by department and only for this particular location. So all I'm trying to show you here is that with each report, right, you're gonna find the different settings. So let's just say if I'm into current period versus previous period, and if you click on edit, you got different options. Like, hey, do you want to compare it with previous period or previous year or YTD? Or do you want to see a variance or percentage of income? All of those things that you can play around here. All right. Now let me show you. So this is a report thing, and let me now show you some of the default things that you can do. So first of all, there's a cover page. It comes default. Okay. Now you can play around with the design here, where you can just click here on edit icon, and you could say, hey, I want to use this text color, or I want to see this kind of alignment or right side of alignment, or I want to have the different cover page image like this or like that. In case if you wanted to add your, I mean, there are default ones, but in case if you wanted to upload your own image with your own branding, you can also do that as well. Okay. In case if you wanted to use some solid colors, you can do that. So however you like, you can play around with the image. There are some more options. In case if you want to see the client name, you can do that. Again, it's very flexible, where some clients logo does not have their name. So in that case, you can decide to display the client name. So again, you can play around with that, with the logo as well. In case if you wanted to change the placement, you can also do that, because depends on what your background image looks like. Sometimes it makes sense to put it in center, sometimes it might make sense to put it in right. So again, you can play around with that as well. Similarly, your firm's name, color of the firm, so all of those things that you can actually play around here, right? So this is where you can make some changes with the cover page. All right, there's a business snapshot. It's a default one. Right now you will not be able to make any changes with that, but in our next phase, our plan is to even have you guys be able to customize this as well. Right now it just gives your client a very high level snapshot as to where, I mean, the most important numbers of their business. So for example, right now I'm looking at January, so it compares with the previous month. So your clients can see how my current month looks when I compare it with the previous period. So, and they can see revenue, COGS, OPEX, gross profit, net income. If they then want to see the year to date, then there is a right there. They can also compare the year to date and year to date comparison for the previous year as well. So this is again a very high level statistics that helps you know your client, where things are. A quick snapshot of all the total assets, total liabilities, even the revenue expenses graph for the last 12 months as well. So right now this is the default one, but very soon this will also be customizable as well. Okay, so these two cover page, business snapshot, are the default ones. You cannot really disable it right now, and all the below reports here you can basically change, delete, whatever you like. In case if you want to change the order of the report, you can also do that. Just like a simple drag and drop. In case if you want to delete something, you just click here, click on delete, and you can also delete that as well. Okay. All right, so let me now talk to you about the charts. Okay, so there is a default one that I have created here, and this is what it looks like. But what I'm gonna do for this is that I'm actually gonna create a new page, and I'm just gonna say graphs, and then just click on whatever you want to give a name. All right, so we have a blank canvas, and then I'm gonna say, hey, I wanted to add a bar chart. So now I click on it, and then I might just say, hey, revenue, let's just say last. So you just give a name to the chart. Okay, what kind of chart that you would like? Bar, line, area, and then you just start adding your variables. So I want to actually add my different revenue accounts. All right. And then you can also play around with the colors that, hey, I want to have this again, this like little bit customization that you can just do it. And then in case if you also wanted to compare with budget or let's just say previous period, previous year, you can also do that as well. All right. So those sort of customization that you can kind of do it here as well. Okay. So there is a one kind of chart in case if you wanted to play around with the size as well, you can do that. In case let's just say, okay, let me, and you can also add a different kind of chart, which is a pie chart where the good example could be the expense allocation, for example. And then here you have a two chart type, which is pie and donut. Variables, I'm gonna actually add different kinds of expenses here. Let's just say, and then, okay. So this is what kind of, I mean, this is a kind of pie chart that you get it. Again, in case if you wanted to change the color or anything, you can do that as well. Now, once you click on save, all right, so you have a pie chart as well. Once the chart is there, and in case if you wanted to make any changes, simply click on edit. And again, you can make whatever changes that you can do that. Now, these charts is not something that you can create at the template level right now because each client has got different chart of account. The whole chart is actually driven by the chart of accounts. And because each client has got different chart of accounts, right now this cannot be managed at the template level. But this is something we are considering where uh, at least the default charts that we plan to introduce, where in case if you just wanted to simply compare your, let's just say, top 10 expenses or the revenue breakdown or expense breakdown. So at least the standard ones where it does not involve any sort of chart of accounts, that is something we plan to introduce. But if you have anything the client specific, you will have to go to that particular client and then you will have to add there. And again, it's a one time thing only. Once you've done it, you're all good. You don't need to worry then about any future period. Okay. So this is a kind of a different chart that you can create. And then if there are any key numbers that you want to highlight, you can also add a KPI card. So what you can do, there's a KPI card, and here there is a all you any important numbers. You could say, hey, I wanted to, let's just say, add something about my bank account, and then you can compare it with the previous period or previous year, depends what you would like to show it to your client. And this is how you can also even add the KPI cards as well. So this is what I have added already, where you have some accounts. Again, you can just play around with it. You can just do the sizes and whatever you like. The good thing here is that in between, like let's just say if you wanted to introduce some sort of text, you can also do that. So for example, let's just say you wanted to add some text explaining, hey, this graph indicates this or that. And that is why we have a free canvas where you can literally add anything and everything. And this is where I was talking to you, where the divider option, right? So in case if you then wanted to introduce a divider between the text or graphs or report, you can also do that. All right, so this is how you guys can add charts and graphs. I also explain preview mode and edit mode. So edit mode is more for you to while you're designing the report, and preview mode is you can see what the final report is gonna look like. Okay. We also have a report setting even at the client level. So in case if you want the whole report to be generated on cash basis, you can do that. Obviously, we had this setting at the template level also, but then at the client level, in case if you wanted to override anything, you can also do that as well. Okay, so that's a report setting. All right, now let's just say we have created this report that we wanted, and we just go to preview mode and we figure that, hey, this is like good to go. It's all fine, all looking fine. Now at this point, you can then decide to share with your client. Okay. So let me show you how that's going to work. First of all, when you go to settings under the client portal, so let's just say we assume that your clients are using client portal. If you have added multiple client users, first of all, you have to decide which users should be able to see this report, because we cannot really share the financial reports with all the users, right? So this is where, first of all, you have to decide that, hey, I only want these three users to be able to see the client the financial reports on their portal. Once you do that, and again, it's a one-time thing only, all you simply have to do, okay, so right now, actually, let me do that. You're gonna see this option called publish report. So it's good to go. You click on publish report. All right, at this point, it is telling you that, hey, this is the kind of report name. The client users, these are the people who have access to the report. So even at this point, in case if you wanted to change anything, you can edit the access, right? So you can decide which user should be able to access it. Do you want to email your client? In case if you want to also edit the template for that, you can also do that. So there's a default template. So let me actually show you that as well. When you go to settings, when you go to templates, and under the email and text, you're gonna find a report template here. So again, if you wanted to change the text here, you can do that. It's a one-time thing, and you should be good to go. All right, so once you set the template, all you then simply have to do is that publish report, click email client, click on publish, and this report will then be shared with your client. So your client gets an email where they kind of whatever text that you've written, they get an email. There's a link into that, and then when they click on it, it directly takes them to the portal, and then they can view the reports as well. So let me show you actually. All right, so this is what the email looks like. Hey, again, as I told you, you can change the text if you like. When they click on this link, it can then take them to the portal, and they can then view the financial reports. So let me show you now what your client's gonna see on their portal. Okay. All right. Actually, I copied the wrong link. Let me just do that. Settings, client portal, and then. Now, the best part about this, guys, is that obviously there's an option for actually let it load, and then I'll show you what I mean by. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna quickly go through the questions. Okay, so Ritesh has been answering, so I'm fine. Okay, so on your client's portal, they're gonna find this tab called reports, where they can now see all the published financials that you issued in the past. Okay, so let's just say I wanted to review my GN financials. I simply click on it. Now, when you click on it, this is what it looks like on your client side. Now, this is actually pulling the real-time numbers, right? So what I mean by that is that if you had issued this report 5 days back, and let's just say there was something that you found an error and you fixed it. So when your client looks at this report after 5 days, they are still looking at the accurate numbers. They are not looking at the wrong numbers that you previously said. So this is literally pulling the numbers from your QuickBooks file right now. Okay, so this is what they look like. There's a cover page here. There's a business snapshot. They can see it's like a scroll. Now the best thing here is that it's all interactive, which means in case if they have like if they have any question on any of the account, and they can just simply click on it, and they can also look at they can drill down, and they can also look at the transactions as well. So it's not just like a simple number that they're looking at it. In case if they need any sort of details, they can always drill down to any of these numbers as well. So if they think that, hey, this insurance looks high, they click on it, then they can look at the transactions as well. Okay, so this is what it looks like on their end. And then if they want to download it in a PDF, they can also do that. So it's again at the top, there's a feature, there's an option to download it, and then they can simply download the report as well. And then it will be downloaded to the PDF version as well. Let me show you what the PDF looks like. Okay, so if I open up this PDF, all right, so this is what the PDF looks like. Right, so there's a disclaimer here. I mean, again, it's the same thing, but whatever things that you've set up, it will be printed here. Right, so that's the PDF version. Okay, so now one thing that again, this is something we are already working on, which is like your clients be able to ask questions back to you and you can respond. One of the things that I have personally experienced is that whenever we either send PDF or Excel financial statements to a client, if they wanted to ask something, they have to kind of come back to the email and then they have to start typing in the question. But we plan to give this feature where if your client has question on any of the accounts, anywhere like on a charts or any particular report, they can actually ask questions right from their portal. So that way there is no back and forth outside the system. It's going to be easier for your clients as well as to you as well, because now you can also find all of your questions related to the reports at the same place. All right, so that's another feature that we plan to work on. In fact, there's so many other features planned for the reports. This is just the phase one, and I'm pretty sure as you guys start using it, there will be a lot of feedback and suggestions that we will be getting, and based on that we will enhance it. All right, so this is how you can share with your client, and then your clients can view it on the portal as well. All right, now let me just quickly see. I just want to make sure I'm not missing out on anything. All right, another thing, while we are talking about the features, another thing upcoming, which is the auto publish. Okay, so what's going to happen is that, see, right now you have to publish this report manually, but let's just say if you have a solid close process where your books is getting closed by 12th of the month, and on 15th of the month your reports are generally sent to your client, you would also be able to schedule your reports where you don't even have to come here to publish it manually. In fact, on 15th of the month, the reports will automatically be sent to your client on the email. They can log into the portal and then they can start accessing the reports from the portal as well. So that's going to be an auto schedule feature that will be rolling out as well. All right, I'm just going to quickly go through the chat. I'm just looking at the latest questions. Yes, you can. I think I already covered. In case if you wanted to change the order of the page, you can do that. And one another thing is, while you're in preview mode, so let's just say there are 10, 20 pages. If you wanted to quickly jump on any particular page, you just open up this panel and you can directly click here. That can directly take you to that particular report as well. So in case if you don't want to, I mean, if you want to directly jump on any specific report, this can help you as well. All right, so list for Zero, that is also coming. It's just that we have been working with Zero team to get access on some of the reports through API, but that's something we are already working on. So very soon it will also be available for Zero as well. John, so right now it does not uh, generate the balance sheet by location or classes, but yes, that's a good, I mean, I'm gonna actually make a note for that, and we'll make it available because we are already in process of adding more and more reports. So I'll make sure, so Ritesh, if you can make a note of that, we can get that added as well. So Erin, right now it's not that advanced where you want to change the grouping of the accounts, but yes, this is something we again plan to work on that, because I know that some clients, I mean, QuickBooks has a limitation where you can only do so much with the grouping, but that's something we are certainly considering, where you can even change the grouping of the accounts and you can even play around with that as well, but not right now. So Kate, about the KPI button, when you are in edit mode under the chart, so let's just say under the chart, you can find this KPI card, and this is where you should be able to find the KPI button as well. So Ritesh, I know that there have been chat, but in case if you want, Ritesh, if you can just tag me, or I mean, if there's any other question that you want me to address, just simply tag it. Kate, there should. Oh yes, sorry. Yes, KPI card actually is in, this is my staging environment. Next week it should be available. So if you, yes, you're right. In the live, it's not there. We just kind of added in our staging. So yes, sorry for the confusion actually. So Ritesh, in case if there are any questions that were unanswered or you did not have answer to, if you can bring it up in the chat for me, I can actually answer that as well. Yep, thank you, Erin. That's a goal. I mean, Erin, like we really wanted to create an end-to-end solution. So yes, this is only gonna evolve. So I'm pretty sure as our customers start using it, with all of your feedback, this is only gonna be a very robust reporting platform as well. Kelsey, this is again the like your question was about specific dates. Not right now. Not one of the suggestion that we got from our. Okay, so first of all, the question was that can we do the reports based on some specific dates? Uh, Not right now. Right now, it's only driven by months. But one of the suggestions, and again, I'm not sure if this is what you're referring, but especially with the restaurant clients, they actually follow a different time period, like a 444 or 445 or 544 or something like that. So we are already thinking on that line where you can create your own custom periods and you can then generate the reports accordingly. So I believe if it is not the same what you're talking about, we might as well take your suggestion as we are building this particular custom reporting thing, and we can take care of that as well. Yes, okay, perfect. So I think we are on the same page. Oh yes, Kate, we'll certainly, and we'll also be rolling out some videos around it, the knowledge materials and all of it. So yes, we'll certainly be sharing the reporting template as well with you, Kate. So I mean, not just you, but everyone. So all right, any other questions, Ritesh, that you want me to answer? At least from my end, I have covered the basics of both both the main features. But if there is anything that you guys would like me to address, any questions, but if there are any questions, feel free, guys, to ask it. Um, I mean, our team is still working on enhancing these modules. So again, if you guys plan to use it, please send us your feedback. As we are developing it, we'll make sure that we kind of can take care of that. And if there any feedback, whether you feel excited, not excited, it's kind of okay thing, please also do share with us, because we also want to know that as well. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Jim. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys, from our end. We have really been very excited about this, and I'm pretty sure we are just getting started with these two new features. And with your help, this is gonna be like a very, very robust in very near future. So please start using it, share your feedback, and yeah, I mean, we kind of love to make this really a robust feature. All right, thank you guys. Thank you very much for taking time. Not sure if we will meet again this year, but I really wish you guys a very happy holidays, and we'll certainly talk next year, because we have some great announcements coming even mid of January as well. So I'm pretty sure we will meet then. All right. Thank you and take care.